have a real estate market that is, I mean, it's hot. Everybody's trying to get a piece of Seattle, the luxury that it is in a lot of places when you're spending as much money as people are. How are you? I mean, you work primarily with buyers, with home helper consultants, with Keller Williams. How are you helping people to navigate this market as a buyer? Because there's just not a lot of houses for sale. And I talked at the beginning about people giving up so much of their almost legal rights to get out of a deal if it's not the right house. How do you keep people safe in an area when everybody's bidding on houses?
Well, I think, first of all, I need to go back to school and get a psychology degree. Like, I feel for people. And they go through this emotional process losing 5 houses and eventually get to the point where they just become, I mean, almost emotionally numb to it.
Well, it's interesting to call it losing a house because they never had it.
No, that's true. It's kind of like when you say you lost money in your 401k, but you're not going to take it out for 40 years.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess same thing. But it's emotionally, I guess maybe I say losing because they've already moved into the house. Mentally, they walk into the house, they start placing all of their furniture, so they've already moved in. And then when the offer comes in and I get to make the wonderful phone call that I do that says, hey, they accepted another offer, it's emotional. And we met with someone on Monday and wrote an offer, which thank heavens she got the house. And I'll talk about that in a little bit too. But she said she went through the 7 stages of grief on the first one she lost. I mean, she's like, I was angry. And I mean, she went through every single stage of grief as if it was a death almost. But it's because they get so emotionally attached to it. So it's helping navigate putting in the offers, but it's almost more helping navigate emotions. And like, here's what you need to expect, and you need to emotionally prepare for that.
So when you're doing this and you're going through these multiple offers and you're helping people prepare for the 7 stages of grief that they're going to go through 5 times over the course of the next 2 months. Let's go buy houses. Doesn't that sound like fun?
It goes quicker. The 3rd and 4th time.
Sure.
It's 7 stages within an hour instead of 2 days.
Makes sense, right? It's like relapsing at that point in time. That's 12 steps. Never mind. Not 7 stages.
We could make it 12 steps too if we needed to. I'd prefer not. That's a lot of counseling.
Yeah. A lot of meetings. So when people go through these and they're buying houses mentally and then not getting them and they're competing with this multiple offer situation, what are you doing? How are you doing it?
Well, part of it we go into it. We have to find out how many offers there are in when you're going in to put in a multiple offer. One of the problems we're finding right now is that it used to be in the $200,000, $300,000 range. You were getting multiple offers. We had one 2 weeks ago, $500,000 house, and there were 19 offers on it. The offer they took was all cash, no contingencies. So you talk about waiving everything. You know, I mean, they've waived their rights to an appraisal, so they don't care what they're offering. The house, there's no way it's going to appraise for what they said. The other thing is that they're not doing an inspection. I mean, they're saying, well, the house looks okay. And you talked about that a couple times today already. That scares me. And I will never advise that somebody do that. If anything, do a pre-inspection. But there's a risk with that, too, is that you could do 5 or 6 pre-inspections before you get a house.
Now you spent $3,000
on pre-inspections. But you could spend $3,000 up front or end up with a $10,000 to $20,000 repair you didn't know about. So it's going into those, like really finding out how many offers there are. They legally and ethically can't tell us what the other offers are, but we can ask. So, I mean, it's one of the first questions I always ask is,
we're breaking the ethics rules here right out the door, huh?
Well, it's not, and I don't. Like, I really, like, follow ethics, but I always try to find out, are they at full price? Are we competing with a full price offer? Because that changes a lot of what we do. All of our buyers submit a letter about who they are, why they want to buy the house. I mean, it definitely is. We want the sellers to know they're real and not just say, okay, well, this offer's $450 and this one's $460. We're taking $460. We have a person behind it who may have put in 10 offers, and this is their dream house. Like, this is really finally the one that they want. So they put in an offer. Our friend on Monday who we got her house, and it was because of the letter. And the listing agent told me she was a great listing agent, first of all. But she told me it was because of the letter. And our buyer submitted a resume from her cat. It was the cutest thing ever. Like, it's
what?
Awesome. Ben goes, say what?
Lisa Montrose joins us about how resumes from cats can help you buy a house. Explain.
I will.
Explain here.
I will send it to you.
No, you've
got to see it.
What does that even mean?
Well, so she wrote the letter and told the seller about herself, but then she also submitted a resume from her cat about why the cat wanted the house. You know, I mean, the cat wanted to play.
I went to cat school. I worked as a waiter at the cat restaurant.
No, the cat was a professional bed warmer.
Okay. And?
But it was just, it appealed to the seller.
Sure.
I mean, that was the thing. Like,
must have been a cat lady.
Hopefully
seller.
It was a cat person.
Yeah.
But I think it made her human instead of just in numbers on pieces of paper. Because we all see those forms every day and you forget that there's people behind it. And so it helped her. She got the house and she was the most excited person.
She doesn't even have a cat.
She and she lied.
Yeah, and she lied right out the gate.
She does. We've heard about the cat the whole time we've been working with her.
I would imagine that if somebody is writing a resume for a cat, you've heard about the cat. Probably held the cat and pet the cat.
I haven't done that yet.
Potentially had the cat in your car while you guys were out shopping for houses.
Such a great conversation today.
Lisa, I love talking about cat resumes. I don't know if I can get off of them. So what bringing a human element to the actual contract is such a key part. What else are you doing to help people win these offers? Because money does matter. I mean, if I'm selling a house, I think it's real cute that somebody submits a resume with a cat, and I think it's fun. But if we're talking $30,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 difference, I'm like, I am sorry, but cat woman, cat lady.
Sorry, cat lady.
This isn't what we're doing. I mean, there has to be some element of getting the money there too. Yeah,
well, there is, and there definitely is. But you have to consider the letter comes into play when all other things are equal. And one of the things, I work with the listing agent before we submit the offer and just talk to them really about, here's what our offer is. We're not coming in $100,000 above list price because we want the property to appraise. We don't want to go 2 weeks from now, find out the appraisal didn't come in, try to renegotiate, and then have to hit the market again because you don't want to go back on the market. So, one of the things we as agents focus on, myself and Christy, my showing agent, is our deal is going to close. That's what the important thing. Everybody wants to close. If you get an offer that's $100,000 above list, it might not close. Unless they're willing to waive the appraisal, if comps aren't there, comps aren't there. And you guys see this all day. I'm sure you deal with appraisals all day.
Yes, but at the same time, a lot of people have the money to bring in.
Yeah.
And that's what it's starting to get to. When you have people coming in, and I bring up Amazon a lot because the amount of people they're hiring, these people have the extra $20,000 or $30,000 to put down to buy the house. So what we've started to see is, yes, it didn't appraise, but we have the money and we'd still like to purchase it. And I think that's where we start seeing, I would imagine you do too, in the offers is, well, these people have more money. They can get this done and they're willing to.
And FHA buyers are having a hard time.
Yeah.
And it's with our FHA buyers, one of the things we talk about is new construction is a good option. Because new construction, typically they're going to appraise for what they're selling them for. Because,
and there's 7 of them in a row.
Yep. And the builder can show why this is going to appraise. The builder prices them accordingly. And so for our FHA buyers, we're steering them a little bit towards new construction. Not steering, but we're definitely saying this is going to be an easier option. Because if you're up against 19 offers in your FHA, there's no way.
No way.
There's no way. If you're not 20% plus down, there's no way.
Yeah.
And people out here, there's money in the Seattle area. We're talking.
I don't know why I don't have any of it.
I know.
But
Well, I know. I didn't know this either. When Neiman Marcus opened, all I kept thinking is there a market here to support Neiman Marcus? And in the housing industry, you learn there is money here.
Yeah.
This is not Cuba or Cuba, depending on how sophisticated you are.
Or how recently you've been there.
Exactly. It's not. People are spoiled out here.
Yeah.
If they don't have a roof, of course they're going to have a roof. If they don't have a roof that was put on in the last 5 years, they're going to throw a fit about it. It's a different world. But there are cash buyers for $500,000 houses and $1 million houses. And if you're financing, you don't have a chance.
Yeah, makes it tough.